Well, saving money in this day and age, I mean, I think Warren Buffett's got $130 billion in cash right now waiting because there is probably going to be some sort of a recession. People say it's a correction right now because of the corona, but it's a rough time. What are your thoughts on all this?
Well, I love crashes. Like the best time to get rich is in a crash. The problem is this time I think this crash might last a long time. The 1929 crash lasts 25 years. That's how long it lasted. I think this one might be at least 20 years, this next depression, because the numbers are so astronomical. Like I said, if Japan is 260% debt to GDP, 240, 260%, America is 115% debt to GDP. That's much, and increasing $1 trillion a year.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to pay it back? And then, my book here, Who Stole My Pension? The pensions are bankrupt. Defined benefit pensions for school teachers, firefighters, and police officers estimate between $9 to $14 trillion underfunded.
Mm.
What's going to happen when that goes down? So that's why I sit and I watch and I go, this one might be a long one. And just today, as we're talking, the 10-year went below 1%. You can't keep printing money. It's never worked in history, at least as far as I know. So that's what I watch. On the other side of it, it's a great time to be an entrepreneur because if you're smart, you have a good spirit, and you learn quickly. See, the greatest thing about an entrepreneur is how fast can you learn. When you look at the 7 deadly sins, the biggest tragedy is ego. Said ego or vainglory is the road straight to hell. And so you got to, I tell you I made mistakes. I tell you I screwed up. I'm definitely on the short list for saint. But you better be honest, and people trust you, and you better keep your word. You're only as good as your word.
Yeah.
So actions and words must be in integrity.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of the best businesses have started when there was a recession,
Correct.
right? There was this idea of Nassim Nicholas Taleb. I'm sure you're a fan of
Oh,
him.
he is my hero, man.
Anti-fragile, stronger. I mean,
love
diamonds
his
get
stuff.
stronger, right?
Yeah.
As under pressure. So it's a very interesting concept, but people fear it. A lot of people fear it.
Yeah, but his lesson is you go to the gym, you get stronger. It hurts for a while, but you get stronger.
Yeah.
And people are coming out of school weaker today, and that's what disturbs me. And then Patrick Bet-David, man, that guy is amazing what he's teaching.
Yeah.
And so there's many young guys coming up that are teaching brilliant stuff, and that's YouTube. Which is a whole new channel, right? Is social media now the channel? So if you're in traditional media, you're in trouble.
Mm.
But if you're moving with the trends, you're in good shape right now.
Sure.
So that's the difference.
Well, Nassim Nicholas Taleb also talks about in Black Swan. He talks about this idea of the barbell strategy,
Right.
where he kind of uses like the S&P as like an analogy where most people think this idea of like putting yourself into medium risk is the safest option, when in fact you're not really getting much of the upside, but you're getting all of the downside as well. So you're allocating risk in a way that is not actually helping you diversify, and you're actually putting yourself in more risk. And he advocates this idea of putting yourself into very risky assets in a small amount, and the rest into, let's say in this case, cash, bonds, and that way.
Even bonds are in trouble now.
Bonds are, I guess, yeah. So most likely cash, where it's very liquid.
When I was your age, the smart guys were in bonds. Nobody was in stocks.
Mm.
Today, everybody's in stocks and bonds. I'm going, holy mackerel.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. What are your thoughts on this idea of barbell strategy, where there is asymmetric returns, where let's say you put 10% into something that's super risky, the maximum you can lose is that 10%, so you still have that 90% still uphold.
Well, it depends upon the person. Like I'm saying, I encourage anybody listening to this or any entrepreneur, get to the point where you don't need money. It's called the infinite return. And that's my next book coming out next year.
Yeah.
When you get to the point where you don't need money, you're home free. You'll never need money. You don't care. You can always put a deal together. You can always create an asset out of nothing. It's like, I don't know what else. It's the power of God-given power. So like I said, when I write a book, I'm selling 50 copies, 50 licenses day one.
Mm.
And let's say I get 10,000 a license. How much is that? 50 times 10,000. Is it 500,000?
50 times 10,000?
Yeah.
500,000.
Yeah, so I'm in the black immediately. What does it cost me? Maybe $10,000 to write a book. You know, so I'm in the black. The same thing if I trade a stock. I buy a stock at $1, it goes up to 10, and I sell. So I have all free trading stock. I have no money in it. That's what Buffett's doing. They're all infinite return guys.
Sure.
You have no money into the deal, and you can do it with anything.
What are other examples that you would recommend? Stocks, you mentioned, books.
Well, real estate. It's my first deal was I bought a condo on the island of Maui for $18,000, and I gave them a credit card to put the $2,000, so $1,800 10% down payment, and I made $25 for it. So I made $25 from no money at all, 100% debt. I love debt, and the average guy's afraid of debt. So it's just mindset. It's what you know. How do you practice? I have made a lot of mistakes. I've never lost money in real estate. Never, because I invest a lot in my financial education in real estate. Why? Debt and taxes. The more I can use all the debt I want and pay no taxes. I love it. I love it. There's a God somewhere. Why would I buy stocks? I don't understand that game. You can make money quickly.
Sure.
And stocks are good because they're illiquid. I mean, they're liquid. You can get out of the stocks real quick, and real estate's dangerous because you can't get out of it. But that's why I've got to study more. So anyway, I the biggest thing I can say to any entrepreneur is learn. Be an active learner, low ego. It's tough when you're successful, because when my nylon and vertical surfer bullet business went to the moon, I was crashing down right after it. It went straight to my head.
While the ego is still
man,
there, right? Vanity ego is still there,
yeah,
right?
it went straight to bed. I thought I walked on water, except there was no water. There was only air below me.
So having